Comey then asked to meet alone with Trump to warn him about that now infamous Steele dossier, unverified information on Trump's ties to Russia, including allegations of Trump's encounters with prostitutes in Moscow.
I'm about to meet with a person who doesn't know me, has just been elected President of the United States by all accounts, and from my watching him during the campaign, could be volatile. And I'm about to talk to him about allegations that he was involved with prostitutes in Moscow and that the Russians taped it and have leverage over him.
It's obvious that he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's obvious he can't control his mind or his tongue. And what I've suggested, if now, because he's the nominee for the party, and he's entitled to briefings from the CIA, for example, I said publicly, give him fake briefings. Pretend you're briefing. Don't tell him anything that you don't want to get out. And that's how I feel about it. I think that the man is a loose cannon. I think he's done so much to hurt our country with our international relations already.
But as a Republican nominee, isn't he entitled to get those briefings?
Give him fake briefings.
What does that even mean?
It means they'll tell him stuff. He won't know the difference.
You're basically telling the intelligence community to lie to him.
No, I'm not going to lie to you, but I still have to tell you everything.
I misunderstood. I apologize. We briefed the congressional leadership about what Americans we had opened counterintelligence investigation cases on, and we specifically said the president is not one of those Americans.
That I'm not personally under investigation.
Those are the three things he asked. Yes, sir.
You know, this investigation is full of leaks left and right. I mean, we've learned more from the newspapers sometimes than we do from our open hearings, for sure. Do you ever wonder why, of all the things in this investigation, the only thing that's never been leaked is the fact that the president was not personally under investigation, despite the fact that both Democrats and Republicans and the leadership of Congress knew that and have known that for weeks?
I don't know.
I have a source, Matt, that actually suggested to me that is as shocking as this 4-page memo is going to be, the foundational information by which it was written, it's going to come on the heels of it, and it's going to be like a slow drip. There are those that are saying, release it all. Would that be a good idea?
That's what so many of us have called for. We believe the memo should be released, and that supporting documentation that doesn't reveal sources or methods should also be available for the American people to review. But it's important to note, Sean, this memo lays out facts. These are not opinions. This is not conjecture. These are facts assembled by the Intelligence Committee staff and then presented to the members of that committee. I have every confidence that this will persuade the American people that we've got to make major changes in not only the people that are currently in some of these agencies of government, but also in the regulatory structure so that this type of behavior never happens again.
You know, Sean Hannity, let me tell you something. The judges on this FISA court so far have gotten away without being scrutinized.
Yep.
If you're a federal judge, forget about the FISA court, a federal district judge, appellate court, the Supreme Court, and you know as a matter of fact that you were misled, and I want everyone to listen to this, and you know as a matter of fact that the information that was provided to you or the information that wasn't provided for full context led you to issue a warrant to spy on an American citizen under the idea that the American citizen was an agent of Russia who was likely to commit a crime. And by the way, that citizen, Carter Page, last time I checked, he hasn't been charged with anything. If you're a judge, and we've had successive judges in this FISA court over a period of 1 year, and you don't do something about it, Congress needs to look into this. I do not expect the Department of Justice to investigate the Department of Justice. I just don't. I don't expect the FBI to investigate the FBI, but I damn well expect federal judges serving as FISA court judges to make sure that conduct wasn't committed in front of them. Now, let me tell you something. Last April, Landmark Legal Foundation filed secretly with the FISA court because we don't have any standing. Nobody has standing. Nobody really knows how this works. And we said to the court, hey judge, guess what? Guess what just took place in your courtroom? Here's what we said. You have the inherent jurisdiction to order an investigation of the FBI to get answers to this. Number one, last April, have this court's order or orders been used by intelligence and law enforcement entities of the federal government as a subterfuge to surveil private citizens and at least one United States senator, we were thinking of Sessions at the time, for political purposes? Number two, did government officials seek one or more national security surveillance warrants from this court as a pretext to conduct an investigation for the purpose of affecting an ongoing national presidential campaign and subsequent transition of an incoming president? This is last April. Number three, when applying to this court for one or more warrants in this matter, did the FBI inform this court that it had apparently paid some of the expenses of a former British spy who prepared the dossier, reportedly relied on in whole or part, in its application to convince this court to issue a warrant? Number four, when applying to this court, this is us to the judge, for one or more warrants in this matter, did the FBI inform this court that the dossier it reportedly presented in pursuit of one or more warrants had originally been prepared by the former British spy for a Washington research firm conducting opposition research against the Republican nominee for President of the United States, Donald J. Trump? This is important. Landmark Legal Foundation respectfully requests the court, the judge, the Fisa judge, sitting in banc by herself, that she should direct the government to complete its investigation and report its findings to the court within 90 days. The court should also consider whether it's appropriate to issue an order to all relevant federal law enforcement and intelligence agencies to show cause as to why they should not be held in contempt for failing to protect the secrecy of classified information obtained pursuant to the court order. Now, do you know what the judge said in response to us, the FISA court judge? I want you to listen to this. April 25, 2017. This is Rosemary Collier, the presiding judge. Keep in mind, the judges on the FISA court are picked by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. These are district court judges for the most part, so they're existing federal court judges. She wrote in this little order, the court has received a pleading titled Motion for Leave to Appear as Amicus Curiae on us, Landmark, on April 20th.
Explain that.
5 days later, she says, although presented as a request to appear, there's no matter pending before the court with respect to which such an appearance would be proper. Now listen to me. This warrant was extended 3 times. That matter was still appearing before this court. That's number one. Number two, the court has ongoing jurisdiction to supervise the conduct of attorneys, the FBI, the Justice Department, before the court. Contempt may reach backwards, even after a case has been concluded. In other words, this FISA judge, and quite frankly, was misdirecting when she said the matter's not before us anymore, when it was still before them, and this court, like any federal court, still has the power to reach back and hold people accountable. She did nothing. She did not call in the FBI as far as we know. She did not call in the Justice Department. She did not ask for answers. She did not ask for an investigation. She didn't hold a contempt hearing. Nothing. You know what that tells me? Something smells like a rat